Look at the shadows cast by the world's most profitable corporations, and you'll find sprawling tent encampments. The crisis of urban homelessness is most severe in the richest cities on Earth, places like San Francisco, Seattle, and New York. The common explanation points to unhoused people traveling to these cities to exploit welfare systems, or the crisis being the result of personal addiction and mental illness. Understanding the reality requires looking past individual behavior and running a macroeconomic audit of the modern city. Urban poverty on this scale follows a predictable internal logic. It is a highly engineered output of the modern city's mechanics. The arrival of transnational tech and finance companies floods a confined geographic area with thousands of six-figure earners. This sudden concentration of wealth triggers extreme gentrification. The influx of high-income renters instantly inflates the local cost of living. This chart illustrates the mathematical squeeze. The top line shows housing costs exploding on an exponential curve. Down here, the wages for the service workers who actually run the city's day-to-day operations remain mostly flat. The expanding space between them is the displacement zone. In San Francisco, a full-time minimum wage earner makes significantly less than the absolute cheapest single-room apartment. When the math of survival is this tight, a single routine emergency, a medical bill, a car repair, or a few weeks of unemployment immediately pushes a resident onto the street. The data shows these are the residents who once staffed the city's restaurants and cleaned its offices. They've been mathematically evicted by the local prosperity. If the city is incredibly wealthy and housing is scarce, the logical solution is to build dense, affordable housing. That brings us to NIMBYism, not in my backyard. Affluent homeowners were incentivized to protect property values and school districts from any new development. Their primary tool is single-family zoning laws. By legally mandating that only one standalone house can be built on a given plot of land, they make it strictly illegal to build high-density apartments or homeless shelters in wealthy neighborhoods. This creates artificial land scarcity. When land is zoned to be deliberately inefficient, development costs skyrocket. In California, the cost to build a single unit of affordable housing can reach $1 million. The middle and upper classes purposefully legislated the bottom rung of the housing ladder out of existence, which leads to a multi-billion-dollar question. Cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco spend massive fortunes every year to fix this, yet their unhoused populations hit record highs. Homelessness has become a booming, highly profitable business, the homeless industrial complex. Trace the path of those billions. The funds rarely reach permanent housing. Instead, they are swallowed up by an ecosystem of nonprofit organizations, high-paid consultants, and endless bureaucratic impact studies. This creates a severe, perverse incentive. If the crisis is permanently solved, the funding dries up, and thousands of administrators lose their salaries. The unspoken rule within this bureaucracy is that they are paid to manage the crisis. They distribute tents, food, and clean needles, ensuring the population survives on the street without actually removing them from it. Human poverty has been converted into a self-sustaining financial model. The modern metropolis operates as a ruthlessly efficient machine. High-tech capital injects massive economic pressure. NIMBY zoning laws seal off the escape valves, and the homeless industrial complex harvests the resulting human exhaust. Together, these forces have entirely dismantled the social safety net for the urban working class. The massive tent cities you see are the exact, predictable result of these policies. The system functions exactly as it was designed to. Until we stop treating urban displacement as a local charity case and recognize it as a highly profitable macroeconomic engine, the crisis will only expand.